David, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I know you guys have all been in suspense over the weekend, anxious to see who I'm going to talk about today. Suspense can now be relieved. I'm going to tell you today who is Ron Paul. I'm going to start off by showing you a little clip here. No sound.
There's volume on the back wall, on the wall.
This was a commercial Ron Paul used in his campaign. And I want to make sure that everyone understands that I am not here to endorse any politician. I am not here to claim any political party. I'm just here today to educate you. I'm just here today to inform you about Ron Paul. I'm going to give you some background information, who he is. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what he stands for. And I'm also going to go into a little bit about why he's different. What makes him stand out today? Ronald Ernest Paul, I'll give you guys a little visual here. Oh, no, that's not. Was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1932. He did serve in our U.S. military, the U.S. Air Force, as a flight surgeon, actually. So he did have a medical degree from Duke University and used that to become a flight surgeon in the Air Force. He was elected in Congress in 1970, and he actually left Congress in 1984 to return to his medical practice, something congressmen don't usually do. He was also re-elected in 1997 to the 14th Congressional District of Texas, and that's where he serves us today, as a congressman for Texas. He's known among his colleagues and constituents for his consistent voting record that strictly adheres to the Constitution of the United States. He ran for president twice, once in 2008 and then also in 1988, around the Reagan era. You might have seen these signs all around the Treasure Valley when he was running last year. The Ron Paul Revolution, lots of grassroots campaign was used for Ron Paul. Kind of unprecedented. After his presidential race, he founded the advocacy group, A Campaign for Liberty. And after my speech, if I don't give you enough information, you want to know more, it's a great place to go. Just go to their website. Okay, so Ron Paul is known to be a libertarian constitutionalist. He stands on the Republican Party at this time, but his viewpoints are real strictly adhering to the Constitution. He's the leading spokesperson in Washington for limited government, limited constitutional government, low taxes, free markets, and a return to sound monetary policies. He believes in backing the dollar. He shows us his viewpoints through his freedom principles that he has developed. I'm going to go over those with you real quick. And hopefully everybody sees. So here are his freedom principles. He believes that our rights belong to individuals, not groups. That property should be owned by people, not by government. That all voluntary associations should be permissible, economic, and social. That government's monetary role is to maintain the integrity of the monetary unit and not participate in fraud. He also believes that government exists to protect liberty, not to redistribute wealth or grant special privileges. And that the lives and actions of people are their own responsibility, not the government's. As a congressman, Ron Paul has introduced many pieces of legislation each year. His legislation usually focuses strictly on adherence to those constitutional values and those principles that he stands for. He's given a nickname in Congress by his fellow colleagues as Dr. No, obviously referring to his medical background. Not only that, but that he is very adamant, and in his own quote, he has said, "I will never vote for legislation unless the proposed measure is expressly authorized by the Constitution, end quote from Ron Paul. So he really truly believes that the Constitution is extremely important and feels that we need to get the federal government completely out of the state and the state issues. What makes him different? A quote from former Treasury Secretary William Simon said of Dr. Paul, he is the one exception to the gang of 535 on Capitol Hill. His voting record can be easily accessed through the House of Representatives website, house.gov, and he's never wavered in his strict adherence to the Constitution. He believes it's not up to the government to decide on social matters such as death penalty, education, marriage, and gays in the military. He believes those issues should be resolved by the states. In conclusion, I want to remind you, I wasn't here to tell you about that you should be joining any types of parties. I just wanted to inform you about this person, give you a little background on him, let you know what issues he stands for, and tell you about why he's a little different than some of the other candidates. In final conclusion, I would like to read from you an excerpt from the Independent Journal Online, which says, Congressman Paul's consistent voting record prompted one of his congressional colleagues to say, Ron Paul personifies the Founding Fathers' ideal of the citizen statesman. He makes it clear that his principles will never be compromised, and they never are. Another colleague observed, there are few people in public life who, through thick and thin, rain or shine, stick to their principles. Ron Paul is one of those few. Thank you.